Good morning, good morning, and good morning. What a great morning today. I am so enthusiastic and so excited because we have somebody special joining us this morning. So I just want to at least open up, start the show, and introduce you. You got a quick look at her just a moment ago, but that's all right. I want to formally introduce her. And I've got to start out welcoming you to the Wealth Warrior broadcast. Wealth warriors are people who are fighting for their family's financial future. This is all about the money. We are not going to joke about it. We're not going to say it's about something else. No, it is about creating wealth. And here's the beauty. It's good. It is good to create wealth. See, it is not the wealth that turns folks around, it's who they are. When somebody is speaking and they convey who they are, guess what? They are exactly what they said they were. Some people say, oh, well, they didn't mean it. No, they probably did. So it's okay. In fact, I was at an event this past week, and I remember they showed a shot, and that shot said that I am wealthy. So you know what they told us? Everybody, I want you to say, I am wealthy. And that's okay. So you know what? Hashtag, I am wealthy. And you can say that, and it's okay. All right, with that being said, I've got to give a shout out to a first responder for the show, and that is Kelly McGovern. You have won the award. Check to you. Awesome. You are the first person that came on right after our newest addition to the Wealth Warrior broadcast family. I just want to say thank you for being here. Kelly is an amazing mortgage broker. I remember her in the days when I owned a mortgage brokering firm, and she was the processing company for me. So I got to give a shout out for the services that she provides. When you are looking for that mortgage broker, I am going to definitely refer her as one of those individuals that you would want to sit down and have a talk to. And she's been up and running for a while now, so we're going to coax her to come on the show. Kelly, that was a huge clue. So I just want you to bear that thought in mind. Now, with that being said, I am enthusiastic to announce that we have our first Saturday broadcast co-host. The first Saturday of every month, this young lady is going to be with us. Both myself and one of my associates from our Project 1000, the movement, had the opportunity to be on her show. We were on her blog, cast, and it was blog radio cast, I should say, and it was absolutely fun. And so with that experience, one of the things we try to work within the family, and what that means is if one of the family members has a service that we can utilize, as I talked about Kelly, a service that we can utilize. Let's go within the family and keep the dollars rolling within our Wealth Warrior community. That's why, warriors, it's so important for you to let us know what it is that you do, what it is that you're promoting, because there comes a point in time when an opportunity presents itself. Pamela Stone presented an opportunity right in the feed, and we took her up on that. And guess what happened? There was an interaction. It was a relationship that was created. And as a result of that relationship, she is going to be our first Saturday co-host. So before I bring her on the scene, if you will, I want to share with you a very exciting event that I went to yesterday. And the reason why I want to share this exciting event was it was the people that were there. I went to the 4th annual Celebrating Women in Business. It was done by the Dudley Main Streets here in Boston. It was sponsored by Boston Private Bank, and it was so refreshing to be in a room with about 75 women. There were men there too, but remember, it was a women's event. But about 75 women were there at the Bruce Bowling Building in Boston. And I've got to tell you, it was extraordinary to be with these ladies. all about the business. And the speakers were outstanding. I've got to give it up to our state representative, Gloria Fox. Outstanding. She is the longest running state representative in Massachusetts. She has been on the scene since 1985, the longest standing individual. It was wonderful to see her there. In addition, we had Catherine Hadaway, who is an extraordinary woman in herself. She is running a company that it makes millions of dollars a year, and I don't mean 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't mean 10, 20. She's climbing up the ladder there. Extraordinary woman, a lovely speaker. And then there was a woman there, and I'm praying that I get her. It was Erlene. Erlene Bethel, I believe. And if I am wrong, I will correct that. And I will put the right name in the feed. I will also let you know about her book. What was amazing about this woman is that she is a prolific speaker, a woman that is seasoned of substance. I absolutely adored her. I will make sure I get her name put in the feed correctly, and I will then bring it back to you and rename her. But it was a wonderful experience. And you know what? I want to hear about your experiences. Why? Because those are experiences that create relationships that produce wealth. And one of the things that I will tell you that Erlene said that was really poignant was this. She talked about the fact that we should, that we don't need to replicate, we don't need to keep doing the same thing, reinventing things. If a system is in place, stop trying to reinvent it. Work with a system and modify it to meet your needs. And she pointed this out because oftentimes we start things over and over and over again. If something isn't written, we try to write it up. And you know what we do? We waste time. I want to share a short story with you of a young lady. It was so powerful and so compelling and short, and it made me want to share it with you. And it has to do, that's why the title of today's show is Business as Usual or Not. She shared that she was at a job. She said, Brent, I had a strategic plan. I had an exit strategy. I was going to be there for 3 years. That was it. 3 years and 3 years only. And she said, and guess what happened? 14 years later, she was still there. She said, Brent, I got comfortable. I lost my focus. And as a result of losing my focus, she said, I ended up staying there 14 years. She said, you know what happened? I was 14 years older. And as a result of being 14 years older, she said, suddenly, she said, she says, I had to sit there and say, oh my goodness, I'm 14 years older. And now life has changed. She stepped into work one day. It was 5 days after her mother passed. And she said, I was invited to the HR office. And you know what happened? I was laid off. She said, so now I'm 14 years older. I've just lost my mom and I'm laid off and I've got to get out in the job market. She says, do you know how devastating it was to be in a job market? She said, to be out there trying to look for a job 14 years later, the industry had changed. So why am I pointing this out to you? Because time goes by. That's why we're here. We said 60 months. Next month will be our 12th month of the plan. That means there's 48 months left for you to to make it happen. 14 months left.
Wow.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, 48 months. My bad, forgive me. 48 months left to create an awesome life, to create a life that will allow you to pick up and go to Dubai with me in September and not have to even think about it, know that money is coming in. It will have been to create residual income for yourself. It will be diversification. It will be all of those things. will come into your life. You will have an amazing life. But I tell you what, the plan, the strategy has to be now. Can you deal with that? Because that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about business. We're going to be talking about the fact that it's not business as usual. Because what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again, hoping for a different results. We're not even talking about we're hoping, we're like, oh, will it happen? Will it happen? Mm-mm. We have to have predictability in our existence. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to strategic design, when it comes to strategic plans, when it comes to strategic layouts of thought processes, there is a gentleman that worked on a strategic plan for Project 1000, the movement. I will gladly refer you over to him because he has been awesome. He took what we had, synthesized it, and created the amazing. So with that being said, we're ready to get this party started. I want to introduce you to an amazing woman that I am totally excited about, who is here with us, hailing in from the great state of Ohio. I'm going to allow her to share a little bit about herself with you. Will you welcome our first Saturday of the month co-host, Miss Pamela Stone?
Oh, thank you. That was awesome for a great introduction. Oh, that made my morning. Wow.
Well,
I love it.
Please go ahead and tell us a little bit about you. The floor is yours.
Absolutely. My name again is Pam Stone. I live here in Columbus, Ohio, where the great Ohio State Buckeyes. Woohoo! A little bit about myself. While I'm currently in the corporate world working for United Healthcare, though I will not, and I tell you here, will not be settling in for 14 years or longer. I do have a plan, and I'm sticking to it. And you can all hold me all accountable for that. I will have until the end of the year, and then I am truly going to be a true entrepreneur. Some of the businesses that I do right now, though, other than working in the corporate world, I have my own business called Declutter Your Business. The business part of it is to help any organizations to help them focus on their business. So I help them declutter their what they're facing, maybe in the HR arena, the corporate compliance, the heavy hitters where the federal government will come and hit them in the pocket. I also help them doing some auditing. I also do some recruitment. Again, those areas is to help their organization build. So as long as they build, I build. And I believe it is working as a team as what we're doing here. I also have a personal coaching business. Where it is Declutter Your Life. And this here is where I help work with women to fight their fears. I help them take their ins and their outs to become awesome leaders by achieving the results to get them past fear. As you and I know, fear holds us back. And you can't let fear hold you back. You have to face it and move forward. To excel, to not to be kept in your shell. And as I can say that, the reason why I can say that is I am one of those people that I had let fear hold me in my shell. I let fear, then I let him bring in their brothers, as I call them, fault and failure. They came in, they held me back. I did what everybody wanted me to do instead of doing what I want to do. So now I have broken up the three brothers, as I call them, and now I just work on facing them. And that's what my coaching business does. Not only do I have the coaching businesses, I also have the radio show. I also have a blog radio. It's called Woman of Wealth, which I was so blessed and fortunate enough to have on Miss Brent and her colleague. It was so awesome. And there we also talk about facing the three brothers, as I call it, but also focusing on the body, mind, and soul. So I'm so excited to be part of this team. I'm so blessed. I told everybody at my job, and I can't wait to go back and tell them after I get off of the broadcast that, oh, guess what I did? Everyone's so excited to see me. But thank you, Brent, again for having me on, and I'm excited. And that's it.
Well, thank you so much. And I'll tell you what, I am equally excited. And you brought up some phenomenal topics that fit right in line with what's going on to today. And today is about interviewing you and introducing you so that come the first Saturday of April, we are all systems go. So this is the pre-launch of Pamela Stone joining us on Wealth Warriors. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. When we say declutter, define declutter for us. And before you do that, I want to share with the warriors. This is the end, near the end. Actually, you should say it is the end of the first quarter of this year. And with the ending of the first quarter of this year, there were some things that we should have in place by now. Have we dealt with our taxes yet? Have we taken a portion of those taxes and set them aside for investing? I gave us a wheel. I gave us a pie chart of how that money should be divided up. And Pamela, with that being said, what would declutter right now for this first quarter? Define a declutter for our audience.
Absolutely. And let's go back, first of all, at the end of last year, let's be honest, we were all fumbling with the holidays. Finances were all out of control due to the holidays. Now that we are into the new year, as I say, we are now time to declutter, now to get ourselves in line, get us financially straight as we are financially freedom, heading to that financial freedom, removing all the obstacles. And some of those obstacles that we face are receipts all over the place. Funny enough, I had a woman come in and she literally brought me a pile this high of receipts and didn't have any system at all. So I had to help her with a system, and that's what I do suggest with our listeners and our viewers, to come up with a system, a filing system, because let's be honest, me personally, when I see everything all over the place, your mind is all over the place and you can't get focused. So that is what declutter means. Remove all your obstacles, remove all the cobwebs, remove all the barriers that you have to make you successful.
I appreciate exactly what you're saying. And in fact, I was trying to the young lady that I shared that I spoke of yesterday. It was Earlene Belton. And in fact, I'm going to read a quote that I actually put up on Facebook, on my Facebook page. And it says this: use existing systems. You do not have to create everything from scratch. And so I like what you said there. It's systems that are so phenomenal. They pair your life. They clean up your life. They bring order so that you know where to pull something from. And what's interesting, I find, is when people have systems, there is a greater level of respect that comes about. And I don't understand why, but there seems to be a greater level of respect for a person when systems are in place. Pamela, can you speak to that?
Absolutely. And funny enough, I had a CEO and he always told me a decluttered desk is a cluttered mind. So you always have to put everything into, and I totally agree with you. When you have a system in place, that means you know where you're going. You have a roadmap. You know where you're heading to. You know the road you're going down. Versus if you don't have that, you're all over the place. And again, you can land in a ditch. And let's be honest, we're trying to prevent us from getting to the ditch, which the Project 1000 will do for us.
Absolutely. I thank you. I like that. And as you talked about the cluttered desk, I recall there was a gentleman that that owned property, and he managed his own property. And one of the interesting things he would say to a prospective tenant, he would say, "See your car." And I went, "Hmm?"
Mm-hmm.
What he said, "You want to see the model of the car, or what would you want to see?" He says, "No, I want to look in the car. I want to look in the trunk, because I figure if their car is messy and things are not in order, then that's the way they're going to treat my property." And I will
Absolutely.
tell you, after that experience, oh, my car is neat on the inside because I would remember that that's what he would talk about. Because, and that made the difference between getting something and not getting something. You spoke about, you said, I think you said your boss. First, seeing a messy desk, that sets an impression for somebody, and that impression can actually prevent a person from getting to the place that they want to get in that career, that
Absolutely.
job. Would you say?
Absolutely. Let me tell you this. He told me that probably, I say over 10 years ago. And to this day, I quote that to everyone, all my clients, all my family and friends. They can tell you when I see a messy desk, I'm like, okay, let's get us a piece of paper and let's start working on what's going on inside of your brain. Because what's going on inside is showing on the outside.
And it does, in fact, show. You know, I want
Absolutely.
everybody for a moment, we're going to go back to the wheel because we said that this is not business as usual. So I'm going to remind everybody of what the wheel means, and what the wheel is your dollar. I want you to take $1 and let's look at how that dollar needs to be spent. What percentages need to be spent on that dollar? The first thing that we need to do is 10% has to be pay yourself. We cannot walk around empty handed. Pay yourself. So 10% of that dollar needs to be about paying yourself. 20% needs to go into savings. 20% needs to go into savings. 30% needs to go into paying off debt. And if your debt is all paid off, then we're going to redirect that money. Another 10% needs to go into philanthropy or charitable giving. That's right. Another 10% needs to go into charitable giving. Because you know what? You've got something. There's somebody else out there that does not. Find a place that you feel confident and comfortable, that you vetted, that you know that when you give, it's going to go to those in need and give them a leg up. It's not a handout, it is a leg up. 20% needs to go into investing. Yeah, investing. You know, my grandmother used to, when she used to work in the trust department, and when somebody bought 100 shares, she bought two. If they bought this, she bought one. She always purchased. She watched their trend and she followed them. 20% goes into investing. And then 10% goes into the rainy day fund, the emergency fund, the oh my goodness fund, the fund when you find out that the life insurance policy wasn't paid for, and now we have someone that you hear that somebody has passed and money is needed. That's the fund. If we add that all up, we've got 10, 30, 40, we've got 70, 90, and 100. That's 100%. That's the wheel of how our money should be distributed. And I say this to you because you still have time to clean up the clutter. Clean up the clutter, as Pamela said. And so this is the start of clearing out. Get the money in order. Whatever that check is, let's get the money in order. Pamela, you talked about something. You talked about the three brothers. And one of the things that I've oftentimes said is that fear begins in our own mind. You know, fear is something that we do not need any external forces to
So
cause us
true.
to be in a place of fear. So talk to me, break down all three of the brothers and tell me what those are about for our audience.
Absolutely. Fear. Let's start with that one. Fear holds us back. Fear plays on our emotions. Fear plays on even our day to day life. And once you come into fear, fear comes with doubt. And after you come in doubt, then it comes into you sit back and now you come into being settling for what you know you could do better on. Then comes fear, then here comes the other brother, failure. Because guess what? Now that you didn't do, what you were going to do, you have failed yourself. And then you have, and let's touch on a little bit. You need to have a strong tribe, because if you don't have that strong tribe behind you, failure will be there sitting in your pocket, in your ear, or better yet, sitting on your shoulder, teasing you because you failed. You failed because you didn't do what you wanted to do. So always take away the brothers. And then the last brother who is holding hand in hand is fault. It's your fault. You can't, and take the blame. It's okay to take the blame. I've learned that. Take the blame, get yourself together. And I always use the quote, pull your big girl panties up and let's go for it, and let's go and just fight the trenches. Because guess what? Once you fight the trenches, you can fight anything. So once you face those three brothers, and guess what? You're gonna face them. Let's be honest, we are not perfect. We are human beings. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And that is one piece of advice I give to all of my listeners, all of my clients. Yeah, we face them. I face them every day. But it's how I came out of it. And I came out of it with a strong tribe, and also to believe in yourself. Because if no one else, you have to believe in yourself, and you can do it. The strong tribe will back you up to show you can do it.
I appreciate exactly what you said. Now, I do want to bring this up, fellas. Pull your trousers up, okay? Not the pants. Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'm so sorry about that.
To define for the audience, define tribe. What is a tribe?
A tribe is your support group. Is anybody you can go to, cry. You can tell them whatever's on your mind. I literally right now have 10 women around the world that I can literally call right now and say what I'm facing. And it may not be, it is something that I cannot tell my family, but I can call that tribe, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes. And the rule is I get 5 minutes of a poor pity Pam moment. After I've gotten that 5 minutes, then we come up with the plan. Because it is because I'm facing something that I'm uncomfortable with. And so I can call 1, I can call 5, I can call all 10. We have all been on the phone one time or another together or individually, and everyone's came up with a plan to me. And it's where you need somebody, and we all need it. There is not one person on this earth who does not need a strong support system. And I'm not talking about one that says, yes, I'm there, and backstab you in the back. I truly can say my 10, and let me say this, and I'm proud of it. I'm over 50, and I'm just now getting to where I have a strong tribe. So it's not that you look for anybody. You have to interview those people, because guess what? Interviewing is your job. Your job is important to you, so is your tribe. So you interview those people and don't just jump into it. It's going to take time to build your tribe. A strong tribe is what you need behind you.
I like it. I like it very, very much. In fact, you brought up a point. You brought up an age. Oftentimes people feel that they've reached a certain age and they shouldn't need a support system, or they reached a certain age and they shouldn't need a mentor. What do you think about that?
I totally disagree. We all need mentors, because guess what? We need a mentor when we get 10. A mentor helps us grow. It's just like a coach. As we are coaches, we need a coach, because a coach helps build you to take you to the next level. And again, a coach or a mentor helps you grow your mind. If you don't have that, that's the first thing I do suggest. You find you a good mentor, a mentor that has got your back. Not just, again, we can go get it anybody. Let's just be honest. We can get it anybody's a dime a dozen. A good coach is a diamond in a rut.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And again, what the topic here is, business as usual or not. What we're sharing with you is no more business as usual, because business as usual allows us to be comfortable. In fact, I remember a coach once saying to me, you've got to be uncomfortable. It's almost as if you want to stay in a state just enough uncomfortability to keep you moving. What do you think about that, Pam?
That is so true. Because let's be honest, once you get comfortable, you have settled. Who wants to settle? Let me speak for myself. I don't. I'm up here reaching for the stars. And may it take me for the rest of my life, I'm going to do it. So absolutely, don't get comfortable. Once it feels uncomfortable, guess what? You're doing it right. The uncomfortableness is the what you're doing thing right.
So true. So very true. And while we're on that, I want to share with all of us there is a difference between a coach and a mentor. A mentor is somebody that is the story. They know the stories because they've been down the road. I remember my mother saying to me, I wasn't born, and we hear this, I wasn't born yesterday. Or another statement would be, I had to get to this place. I'm old enough. I had to get to this place. So I wasn't born yesterday. I had to get to this place. They have the stories. They have that experience versus a coach who shows you the plays. Think about a football coach. The football coach has a playbook, the playbook. So he says, we're going to run this play or we're going to run that play versus the mentor who has that experience. Now, a person can be both. We just need to know what role they are going to play. Pamela, in your experience, talk to me about mentor versus coach.
I have to say, I do right now have a coach. As I said, I'm reaching for the stars. So I just recently got me a coach. My coach, she comes up with a plan. We come up with, like you say, a football plan, a plan for me on how I'm going to get to those stars. A mentor, I can talk about whatever it may be that is going on in my life at that current moment. The mentor is going to give me what she's been through, what she has experienced. And so both of them do go hand in hand, but I'm with you, Brent. You have to know what role do you want them to play in. I have two separate. It's just because me personally, my mind can't work with doing two things at once. My mind can't work like that. So it's just me personally, where I have two separate. I do have two people that are, one is a mentor and one is a coach. But they do play an essential part in our lives to help us take us to where we are going to.
Awesome. Awesome. And in fact, we are going to go through that period. We're going to actually be interviewing people that are going to be potential coaches for you to reach out to, or potential mentors for you to reach out to if you do not have one, because it is important. Right now, we are on a track to wealth. And when you are on your track to wealth, you need to know where to go. You need to know how to avoid the landmines, because there can definitely be landmines out there. And guess what? You want to talk to somebody that's already been there. We do not want to be journey of the broke. We want to be journey of the success. You do not go to a broke person to ask them how to create wealth. It doesn't work. Some have tried. It does not work. So my point is that there's a lot going on. This year is a year of prosperity for all of us that are watching, viewing today. It is, in fact, a year of prosperity. It is not business as usual. You are about to get seriously uncomfortable. With that being said, you know what? Pam, you brought up something that resonates, and that was around beating ourselves up because we lay fault. Talk to me about how do we get out of that space, and whether it's forgive ourselves, whatever language we use, how do we get out of the space so that we can get out and create the trajectory that gets us to where we need to be?
I'm glad you asked that. There's several ways of doing it. The first way I always suggest to my clients is you have to face it. So the first way you face it is, one, meditation, because meditation gets you in tune, truly in tune to what is going on inside. Because in order to get going outside, you have to figure out what's going on inside. Then the next way to face your failures, write a journal. It takes literally 5 minutes to write a journal. You write down what you are going through. what you are facing, and how you're feeling. Now, what I do to suggest to my clients is once they have written in that journal, that one-page journal, they are not allowed to read those pages for 30 days. Because you know why? That means that then they'll see where they have came from. So it's a benchmark. You'll see where you come from. You've already written it down, because let's be honest, once you take it out of your mind, it's done. It's done. So once you've written it down on the piece of paper, write it down. Then after 30 days, we go back and we just review it. And I always tell them they get to pick one page that they wrote in the past 30 days. We don't get to read all the rest of them. No, I have had to take.
We're not gonna pour all that back in our mind. We just threw it out.
Right.
Now you want to pour it back in? No.
Exactly. No. Because why are we going backwards? We're growing. Why would you want to go back to where you were? See, we got to grow to get to the bigger picture. And as you said before, we're being prosperous. Why are we going to be in debt? Being in debt still means and failure is debt in such a sensible way. So we take the journal, we write in it for 30 days. Like I said, I give them one day. They get to choose the one day that they want to reflect on. And guess what? And then that reflection, we do it in 10 minutes. You get to talk about it. You tell me about it. Tell me what happened. And then we come up with a plan. And then we build from there.
Now I got to ask you something. Does this work for both men and women, or is this a woman?
Absolutely. No, it works for everybody. Actually, I was part of a journaling group. Actually, it started with a man and a woman, and he does the journaling. Actually, he was the one who seriously talked to me about the journaling and the process and how he has grown from it and where he is now. So it works for all genders. We all need to journal. Let's be honest. We all got things going on inside of us, woman or male. So yes.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you know what? Journaling is not business as usual. And you're absolutely correct. One of the beauties I found of journaling is you do write it all out. It all comes out of your head, and it gives you space to do other things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I recommend journaling from everybody aspect, from being just anybody does it, to being up to a CEO. I just read where a CEO, he literally writes in his journal 5 minutes in the morning before he gets going. Wow. And it's just to get his mind cleared and ready to tackle what he has to tackle for the day.
So that's called declutter?
That's called declutter, all right.
Awesome. Now I will say, I probably everybody has noticed, all the warriors. I know you're saying to yourself, Brent, you haven't said anything about hashtags. You haven't told us to go up and do a flash mob. None of that stuff today. And you're absolutely right. I haven't, because I've wanted you to hone in and focus in on the conversation that we've had today, because the conversation is pretty powerful. Declutter. In order for us to get out of the business as usual, we do have to declutter. We have to clear the space. And sometimes it can be as simple as when you get up in the morning, do you make your bed? Or you're getting up and you're rushing out, can't make the bed, can't do anything. That is, by all means, that's pretty powerful. It's what are the systems that you're using? The declutter. Do you have a home office? Because right now we are going to make our home pay for itself in more ways than not. Whether you are in a rental unit or you have a mortgage, we're going to make that unit, that house, pay for itself. And one of the ways it's going to pay for itself is you are going to have a home office. What does that home office look like? Is the desk clear? Can you find what you need? Do you have some systems in place? And contrary to popular belief, this country, the United States, is still a paper country. It is still the 4 points on a piece of paper, the signature on a piece of paper. If you think about it, look up the definition of a contract. There are 5 things that a contract has to have in order for that to be a legally binding contract. 5 things. And I'll tell you what, that's going to be in the feed for this week, is what are the 5 elements, what are the 5 key components that are required in order to have a legally binding document. So, with that being said, that is why today, no, I don't want you to be distracted. I want you to stay right here with us. This is a private conversation. For those that came in on it, this is a personal thing. I want to kind of recap a few things for you. I want to go back to the declutter because there are two areas that Pamela brought up today. She talked about decluttering your business and then decluttering ourselves. For those of us that are not in business yet, you will be in business. I promise you within the next 3 months, within the next 90 days, I want to hear that whether it is Project 1000, the movement business, or whether it is something else, but you must have a home-based business. You must be able to take advantage of all, the one thing that wealthy do is they figure out how. They figure out how to reduce, how to lower their taxes. We didn't say they eliminate them. We didn't say anything that was to the contrary of legality, but they know if you lower your taxes, that means you have more money. You lower your taxes. Guess what? When you lower your taxes, for example, let's say a person is making $50,000 a year. If you're making $50,000 a year and your tax base ends up being 40%, how much money have you made? Now you can take the same scenario, $50,000, have a tax base that's at 28%. Look at the spread. So you've got more money. One of the first steps among those steps, home-based business, lower your taxes. Those are pivotal. That increases your money and allows you to invest. Pamela, talk to us about decluttering your business. I know we talked about systems, but go a little deeper. Give our wealth warriors some things that they can do today, Saturday, right after this broadcast, to start decluttering their businesses. What can they do?
Absolutely. First and foremost, they need to get organized. Now, I have been in a business of a CEO that the desk is very cluttered. So I help them get organized. I throw out all the unnecessary clutter, paper, or whatever, and come up with a filing system. That's
okay, wait a minute. Well, before you go on, I have heard people turn around and say, "Oh, but because it's like this, I know where everything is at. I know it's underneath this piece. It's underneath this thing right here. And I can find it. Because if you ask me for something, I can find it. So why do I need to turn around and declutter my desk? Because I know where everything is."
And I go back to the quote that I said.
I've had that experience. I've had somebody tell me that.
Actually, I have too. I have had to go into several of my supervisor's office and I'm like, okay, we have got to, because let's be honest, still a cluttered desk is a cluttered mind because you're not focused. When you see all those papers, what does it look like? You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You're not honing in on what you're actually to do. And as a business owner, you're actually to run a business. The business isn't to run you. So I always say, clear the desk. I understand. Listen, I have a girlfriend. I love her to death. She does the same thing. She was like, "Pam, I got the paper." I'm like, "Okay." So here's the test that I always give, and I'm going to ask everybody. So let me ask you, where is that piece of paper that you need? I'm going to give you 2 seconds to tell me where that piece of paper for a project, where is it at? Is it right there? Or is it under all those pieces of paper that you have to, the piles? See, so it means if it takes you more, and I tell her this, if it takes you more than 2 seconds to find that piece of paper, not to pull it out of a folder, not to come off, and now we're trying to move to the electronic. If you can't pull it up within that minute, that means you're still in a cluttered state. So we need to take that piece of the paper. I understand. And let's be honest, you know why the papers are there? It's your comfort level. The piles of paper are just your comfort level. We need to remove the comfort. Remember, discomfort means you're growing. So we need to get organized. Take those essentials the pieces of paper, the receipts. If you have to keep receipts for your job, I tell her every day. I told her we went to the dollar store and got us a coupon. That's all you have to do, get a coupon holder. And each slot is for each month. So when you go out to eat, you put your receipt in for the month that you ate. Then guess what? All the receipts is in one place. And then when we go to people like Brent and them for doing our counting, we have it in one spot. Not, as I said before, piles. I mean piles. I've been to an account where she's gotten 3 different piles from business owners of receipts.
I have literally have had bags. I remember one of I worked with a CPA. He was both a CPA and a tax attorney. And I will never forget, he said that a client came in with 3 shopping bags full of receipts and put them on his desk. And the shopping bags were so full that they had weight and girth. And he said, no, I can't do this. You are going to have to take each one of those bags. That is not my job.
Right. And so I've been there. I've seen it. So not only did we go and do the organizing, and here is one thing I do recommend for every business owner: whiteboard. Whiteboard is so important. I took mine down because I don't want the viewers to see it today because this is my first day. I literally have 4 of them.
Wow.
4 different whiteboards, and they each keep me organized on the different areas of where I'm going to reach the stars. So I have a goal, and then let me tell you, once you listeners or you viewers, you will start to know me. I need to see the big picture, and then I work my way back. I can't.
Absolutely.
You can't give me a list. I need to see the whole picture. Give me the mansion, and I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna get to the mansion. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, I like that. I like that. I heard a speaker recently say, start with the end in mind. Start at the end and then work your way back to everything that needs to be done to get to that result.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I like it. Please continue on.
And so absolutely. So the whiteboard, they pay it essential. Now, let me clarify this. There is a rule, and I give a rule to everybody that has a whiteboard. You're to look at that whiteboard every day. Every day, because let's be honest, you write it on there. What good is the writing if you're not doing anything with it?
It's just like the strategic plan. There are companies that will write a plan and then guess what? You don't see it. They've written it out and poof, it's gone. And you're saying to yourself,
Exactly.
wait a second, what was the point? If you're not going back and reading that, it's like affirmations. If you're not doing the affirmations every day and
What's the point?
you read them out, what's the point?
What's the point? It's just words. When you need to do more than words, words need to be powerful. So I always recommend everybody, and I understand we're all busy. So I'll stretch it out. I'll let you review your whiteboard weekly. And every week you look at that board, and every time you accomplish something, mark it off. But guess what? You move down to the next item. And then within 2 weeks, this ends up happening to me. I'm always at the dollar store getting whiteboards. I know they're like, what, do you need stock on the whiteboard? Yes, I do. Yes, I honestly do. But I'm always buying whiteboard. Now my whiteboards, I have different colors. The different colors also for me, it makes my mind hones in on one, because my mind needs to be like this. If I see one color, it's just moving too many. So I also suggest doing whiteboards in different colors. I have every color, you name it, I have it up. So the whiteboard, and then getting organized, taking all those stacks and stacks of paper, come up with a filing system. Now I go back to the filing system because it's essential, because us as business owners, you have important papers that will come across your desk. I do. Now, me personally, I'm into the electronic age, so I scan my paper, I scan my documents, and then I shred them. Now, once you do one system, now we're not going to do both, where you're going to keep them, you scan them and file them. No, the rule is you do choose one. If you're going to file it, then you get a good filing system that is in alphabetical order. And you put those paper, once you have done with that paper, you make a folder and put it in there. That literally takes a second. Or you scan it, and if you scan it, you shred it. That's the rule. I have to put that on the table for everybody. I get on my girlfriend. When I go over there, I'm like, okay, trash bag. And she knows trash bag means it's my system. So I do give her I try not to scare her a little bit, but I do go in and I say, okay, you got a choice. Either we're going to do paper or we're going to do electronic. We're not doing both. And so it's taken her some time to get past the both of the systems. And I work on her. I work on her every week and I check on her. And then the last, that's my girl though. I got her back and she's got mine. And
Oh,
then
that is, well, I'll tell you what, first and foremost, that is absolutely wonderful. You gave some really good pointers. And what I appreciated was you shared with us whether it's the CEO of a major company or it is a home-based business CEO or a home-based business owner, small business, whatever the case may be, it spans all of the realm. And in that expansion, it is saying the story, the system, everything is still the same. It still requires organization. I like that you talked about the organization. You talked about the desk. The desk can be representative of what's going on in our lives and what's going on in our heads. And that is incredibly powerful as we are wrapping up this first quarter. See, now when we're thinking about our lives and we're looking at ourselves, it is a quarterly basis that we are structuring here. And it is structure. And structure has its benefits. When you read about various CEOs, you read about people that have become, that have reached the goal that they had intended. They have reached that place called financial freedom, and they will take you back to things, declutter, systems, things of that nature. Those are important. So we have somebody here. We have our own inside person that will talk to us about declutter, our own inside person. One of the things that I appreciated that Pam shared with us is you have the business and you have your personal. You have business and you have your life. There was a woman that asked a question. She had recently given birth. She said her child was about 3 months old. And she asked the ladies that were presenting, how do you keep it all together? How do you have a business life, a personal life, a family life? And it is about balance. And part of that balance is getting the order in place, which means we declutter so that we can create order. Pam will
absolutely.
speak to the order one more time before we start to wrap up. Give us that overview again that goes from the declutter to the order. Give us a few minutes, a few seconds on that, a few minutes on that.
I sure will. Again, we need to come. First, you need to come up with a system. So again, I always come up with to-do list. Again, we can come up with a to-do list. I have so many to-do lists, but I have it and I check them off. And because you know why? Your to-do list is your second one is accountability. Now, the words is good on a piece of paper, but if you don't do anything with the words, then they're meaningless. So I take and I scratch them off. And that's me personally. My reward is once I see that scratch off, okay, then I get to move on to the next one. And then the last one is satisfaction. Because remember, you're growing yourself. You're taking yourself from the in and you're coming from the out to the in, means you're coming from the old to the new. And so that is what with this is what you're doing. You're growing. We're being prosperous. Not trying, we are going to be prosperous. In order for us to get prosperous, we have to have our systems in place. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to give you this last bit of advice before I get off. It's going to feel uncomfortable. Remember, I've been saying that. But uncomfortable is a good feeling. Uncomfortable means you're doing something right. Not wrong, but right.
That is so true. So along with the year of prosperity, because I have personally declared to our audience that 2016 is the year of prosperity. It is also the year of being uncomfortable. To get to the prosperity that we want to get to, it's going to get uncomfortable. So get ready. Embrace being uncomfortable. Embrace it, take
Absolutely.
it in. Because it's,
Absolutely.
yeah, you're right, absolutely. Because it's a sign. It shows you where you are at. And it also lets you know this is not business as usual. Let me give us a rundown of all of the things that have happened today. First and foremost, again, to the first responder, that is Kelly McGovern. So she gets the check off for this morning. Thank you so much. Yay! Thank you so much for being with us. We appreciated it tremendously. We now have a new co-host the first Saturday of every month, and that is none other than Pamela Stone. We are glad to have her. So, yay!
Thank you.
You are so welcome, so welcome, so welcome. Topics for today were awesome. They were right on point because they feed into the fact that it is not business as usual. And that is, we need to make it a point today to initiate decluttering our lives, separating out. There is the personal life. There is the family life, whether it's a family of one or not, there's the family life. There is the business life. And in that business life, that might have two divisions because you have your job that you are working at, which is your largest client, and then you have the business in and of itself. So you have these three spaces, these three pools that you have to work within. We also talked about today handling the money, the percentage, the wheel. And what does that mean? That means 20% of your money should be going into saving. Oh, sorry. First things first, pay yourself. That means 10% of the revenue that you get in your hand has to go to you. 20% goes to savings, 30% pays off debt, 10% goes to philanthropy, 20% goes to investing. If it is one stock that you purchase, 20% goes to investing, 10% goes to the rainy day fund, miscellaneous. We talked about that, and I'm going to keep that on our radar. Decluttering. Pamela brought out three powerful things. She brought out something called the three brothers, and that is fear. Fear is something that happens in our heads. It does happen out there, but I'll tell you what, fear doesn't need any friends. We can create it within ourselves. Stop and think about entering a room, a dark room. Is there fear that comes over you? Then that's something we did ourselves. We want to get out of the space of fear. We want to get out of the space of failure. We all have to fail forward. And we need to stop beating ourselves up. Accept responsibility, yeah. But what does that mean? That does not mean that we're going to keep faulting and faulting and faulting ourselves. Very important. Get your tribe. We all need a tribe. We all need the coach, the mentor. Interview them, as Pamela said. Find one that fits your needs. Figure out the relationship and figure out how that's going to work, because everything in life is a quid pro quo. So if they say, hey, you know what, there is no charge, there is no this, and there is no that, fine. Then here's some things to think about. Pay it forward. Would they like you to donate something in their name? Remember, it's always a give back. It is a give and get. Notice I didn't say give to get. I said it's a give and get. It has been my pleasure. Not just a pleasure, it has been an honor to have all of you with me today. It is so appreciated. You are part of giving me life on Saturday morning, and I appreciate you as a tribe. I want to give Pamela an opportunity to have a last word, and then we're going to talk about next week. Pamela, you've got a last word, so let us hear it.
Take the day. Do not take the day for granted. Grow. Empower yourself. And go out here and shine like you've never shined before. I thank everyone. I am excited for this new venture in my life, and I look forward to meeting everyone. May it be face-to-face or a voice, but I look forward to this.
Wonderful. Well said. I couldn't echo it better. All I can share with you is we've got an amazing April coming up. We're going to be interviewing the men. We've got James Grant, author of Women Are Gods. We've got Dimitri Frederick, who is the author of a very nice book of poetry. Men write poetry also. We've got a music manager who is going to be on. It's going to be exciting. Men, April is your month, fellas. We want to
That's
honor
right.
you. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to say to you today, go out and be extraordinary. We'll see you next week. Have a marvelous Saturday. Bye-bye now.
Bye.